Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend so far. Today guys, we're going to be diving into Cardano and I'm going to be telling you why I believe great things are to come for this project. We know that we have the release of smart contracts, the Alonzo mainnet right around the corner. The 12th of September was the official date given by IOHK and the Cardano team. I think this is going to have a spectacular effect on the price and the project as a whole, and we're going to be getting into why that is in this video. Before I start, guys, I just want to say a quick announcement. Please be aware of scammers in the comment section. It is getting ridiculous. It doesn't matter how many times I report these individuals, they just seem to keep coming up, creating new accounts. So if you notice it yourself, please report them and highlight it. It is absolutely ridiculous and is actually very damaging to the space as a whole. I will never ask you on this channel for anything other than your attention. We don't even leave referral links in the description section of the video because I don't want anything from you guys other than your attention. I'm more than happy that people are gaining some sort of value out of this content, and that is currency for me. So remember that. We do not want anything from you. We will never ask anything from you other than that you watch, like, comment and subscribe to this channel. So with that announcement out of the way, guys, let's get into why I believe Cardano's price is going to do brilliant things once the release of smart contracts has gone live. We are, of course, going to jump into the timeframes because Cardano is setting out, and we believe we are now on that fifth and final wave, which is going to take us to $7.50 towards $10, quite possibly within the end of the year. You know, this is how fast things are moving. People are getting very fatigued in this fourth wave, but ultimately we stuck to the mantra that you are about to embark on the fifth and final wave of your Elliott wave theory, which is going to be spectacular, coinciding with the run up towards the end of the year. And the market is now, the crypto market is uptrending. So if you're looking for entry points, we will get into it in just a second. Now, why is it that I believe the price of Cardano is going to do some pretty spectacular things and the project is going to just go from strength to strength when smart contracts are released? Well, that is because, of course, with the release of smart contracts, individuals will be allowed to build dApps applications on top of the Cardano network. They will be allowed to play around with the smart contract capabilities of Cardano, and you will have an entire ecosystem come out of this. Ethereum, which is Cardano's real competitor. By the way, Cardano is third. We called for this about 2 weeks ago. This is where it belongs right now. And actually, when it has smart contract capabilities, I actually think the future, there could be a bit of a fight between Cardano and Ethereum. Ethereum is really where it is today because it was the first of its kind. However, as things change, as the space matures, I think things are going to kind of even out. That's for another video though, guys. So when we have, with Ethereum, one reason it's so popular as well is because of the amount of, if we look at DeFi as a whole, the vast majority, 90% is actually on Ethereum. 90% plus is on Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is getting proof of stake and they're moving to proof of stake. I actually think this is going to do brilliant things for its price because it's going to really suck up a lot of the liquidity, a lot of the circulating supply. In regards to Cardano and why it's going to do so well when we have these applications running on them is because we know that 70%, 24.2 billion Cardano, which is 70%, and it's been higher than this, of Cardano's supply is staked. So that leaves 30% of the circulating supply. In the announcement, and I'm going to play you a clip from this talking about the future and what's really going on here at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. In that announcement, they mentioned that there is 144 exchanges that facilitate swaps or the buying of Cardano. So that 30% is shared between those 144 exchanges, plus just hodlers that haven't bothered to stake. So there is already a very spread out circulating supply, and what smart contracts will do, I mean, people are going to be able to build on it. And in actual fact, for those of you who use Ethereum, you will know that you need Ethereum to actually use these smart contracts. So there is going to be another supply crunch or circulating supply crunch on that. And then you have actual Cardano being locked up inside these DeFi protocols. This is the DeFi Pulse. Right now, you have around about 9.5 million Ethereum locked into DeFi. So that doesn't mean people that just have it in their wallet ready to transact and pay for the gas fees, actually locked into these protocols. And DeFi, by the way, guys, the majority of people I speak to in crypto do not use DeFi. I use DeFi, I've been using DeFi for a long time, and I'm super excited for it to come to Cardano because it's going to be cheap, it's going to be a great experience. So with 9.5 million Ethereum locked into DeFi, there is a circulating supply which we know is decreasing now because of the EIP 15559 for Ethereum. That is around about 8.2%, I think, round about there. So you can take effectively another 8.2%, which leaves you 20% of the circulating supply of Cardano really left that isn't getting eaten up in DeFi. This is shared between 144 exchanges and people that just want to hold and don't want to stake or have got it locked into other services. This is huge. You're going to have an absolute supply crunch, and basic supply and demand. We know with the adoption rate continuing to go up, so I actually think that there's going to be more people deciding to stake, is going to really create this perfect storm, a supply crunch, if you will, for Cardano. And yes, there is the possibility that we have a slight dip with the actual release. There's this kind of buy the rumor and sell the news thing that is a real thing. I've seen it play out 100 times in the crypto space. But what it isn't going to stop is the inevitable, and that is that people are going to start using and really facilitating their smart contracts with the underlying asset Cardano. And this is going to create an absolute supply crunch. And if Ethereum is anything to go by, guys, with 8.2% roundabouts of the supply being locked up, we already have 70% staked. It's going to really create this perfect storm, ladies and gentlemen. And with the natural progression of Cardano's adoption just continuing to go up, which we've shown you on other videos when we've looked at the analytics on chain, it's just, from an investment point of view, and this isn't investment advice, it's screaming buy to me. And we've been in Cardano for a long time now, this channel, for the reason really that's becoming quite apparent today. You know, it's one of the, other than perhaps Dogecoin, which is to me a joke, but whatever. It's one of the best, if not the best, performing assets in the top 10. It is a very impressive project. It's one of the only original blockchains, which means they've built it from the ground up themselves. They haven't used kind of other consensuses to come. It's just such an impressive project, and I believe with Bitcoin being a first generation crypto, Ethereum being a second, because Ethereum came out of Bitcoin and they wanted to add extra layers of capability, Cardano is a third and is leading the way in my opinion. So I'm very excited. This is why I think, because people are really anticipating a dump when smart contracts actually get released and go live. I actually think there could be a small dump, but this is going to be followed by the natural progression of Cardano, it becoming a really used and utilized blockchain kicking in. And I'm just super excited for what's to come. It's been a long, hard battle for many of you Cardano fans out there, but we're here. We're number 3, which is, I believe, the rightful spot right now. I think Cardano is superior in a number of ways to Binance Coin. I'm not hating on Binance Coin. I think Binance is actually a very new user-friendly exchange. Now, I want to address a comment because, of course, I've said all this. Now, somebody rightfully pointed out that there's no lock-in period for staking Cardano, which means you can remove it from the stake pool very easily, unless you're locked into Binance or something like that, which may have some lock-up periods, which, of course, I wouldn't really recommend doing. If it's just the easiest way for you to do it, sure, whatever. But if you get a bit more savvy with the space, always go for independent stake pools because you want to help this ecosystem grow. And we have toyed with the idea of actually making a stake pool, and a percentage of the profits may go to things like lobbying, which I think is very important. We're not there yet. We don't have a stake pool at the moment, but we are looking to perhaps do that moving forwards. You want to always help out an independent stake pool in the whole ecosystem. Just make sure you know that the stake pool you're putting your money to is trustworthy and has a good track record. There isn't really a lock-in period, so this supply could perhaps be seen as liquid, but I think for the majority of people out there, I actually think that the amount of people staking is going to go up because it's in an inflationary system where in Europe you have negative interest rates. It's a good deal getting your 4 or perhaps 5% APY on Cardano with an appreciating asset. With a sound, people often refer to Ethereum as a sound, an ultrasound money. Cardano is very similar in that respect, and I think people are going to continue to hold it. There's really a belief, and Charles spoke about this in his AMA, people find Cardano and they stick with it. You've got people that have been here for years. I got in late, around about 2019, but it's done very well for me. I heard about it in 2017, but it just kind of came on the scene, or certainly came up to the markets. I know they were writing peer review papers long before that. So you have a really perfect storm setting up, in my opinion, for this. And this is really, I don't think people really understand, certainly people that haven't used DeFi, what smart contracts mean for the whole ecosystem. I mean, this is just some. There will be far more. I think 3,000 dApps are actually built on top of Ethereum. Obviously, there are quite a few of those are scams and whatever have you. But this is not obviously 3000. It's what is going to happen on the 12th of September, if that is actually when things go through, and we know it's the official date, but it all really depends on the testnet that comes out on the 1st, is going to really kick into motion something spectacular for the tokenomics and the kind of supply. You're going to have liquidity shortages, I believe, on exchanges. It's just going to be fantastic, guys. I really do think that, and this is a project that I'm actually in for the long haul. A large part of my Cardano I will be staking and forgetting about for an indefinite period, essentially, because I believe in the longevity of this project. Of course, I'll be taking profits certainly when we get to that $7 to $10 range. Absolutely, because I've been holding it for such a long time, it would have really paid off. But I am keeping a lot of Cardano just to stake indefinitely. I'm also got quite a significant allocation of my Cardano to actually get into some of these DeFi projects, because one thing in the crypto space that is a tried and proven method is if you get into a project with real value early, you're going to benefit as a result of it. So that's really the bulk of what I had. Now, in regards to the price, guys, I keep thinking this needs to cool off, and I would like to see it cool off. We actually told you that new all-time highs were around the corner, way down here. We gave you the break. We've been spot on it with our calls. All the videos are still up, but I would like to see a cooling off period. You know, I would like to see us set up some structure, maybe sort of a symmetrical triangle before coming up and impulsing. We need to catch this EMA up, in my opinion. Whether you do that when you're right around your all-time highs, or whether you start to cool off right now, is really anybody's guess. We're not going to go into many smaller time frames, because what this video is about was really sort of explaining the tokenomics and what's going to happen when smart contracts go live, and why it's such a bullish thing for the project. Every time you get overextended from this EMA, guys, you always come back down to it, and the more overextended you get, the further the correction is to the downside. So if you're looking for entry points, wait for that. Wait for a correction. It is dangerous timing, the crypto market, as I'm sure many of you have figured out, because this is such a volatile asset class. It's an emerging market, and part of any emerging market is volatility. But ultimately, guys, we're stoked about what the future holds, and we do believe that roadmap, and we actually could have largely underestimated, by the way, where the price could get to. It's a very conservative price prediction that even a couple of weeks ago people were laughing at. $7.50 to $10 is actually quite conservative. This thing could actually overperform significantly, guys. But we're yet to see what kind of happens. So that's really all I have for you. You are on your fifth and final wave. The price looks great, guys. I am personally waiting for a little bit of a pullback. I know many of you are. I don't want to chase in at the moment, but it's up to you what you do with your money. And people were asking me, they're going, is Cardano still a good investment? Well, if I think it's going to get to $7.50 to $10, and it's at $2.19 at the moment, still a lot of growth there. Now, is it going to outperform some of your smaller coins? Perhaps not, but there's a lot more risk associated with smaller coins, and Cardano is such a solid project. And I hope I've highlighted that with you, with what's about to come with the turning on of smart contracts. And that's had a fantastic effect on Ethereum. As you can see, there's a lot of ETH actually locked into smart contracts here. Maker is the biggest holder, followed by Aave, etc., etc. Compound's very close, and Uniswap. So DeFi is about to explode on other platforms, take some of that market share. Everything's moving in the right direction. Excuse me. The last thing I want to do, guys, is play a clip of Charles talking about innovation and where this is going, and then I'm going to love and leave you on that note, guys. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll play the clip, and I'll see you on the other side of it.
Perfection. And this is a moment for us. September 12th is just a day, but for you, it's going to be also an opportunity and a moment to build things, to deploy things. In the beginning, it'll be a little tough, because it always is. There's going to be some software that doesn't work, because it always does. There's going to be a dApp that fails from time to time, and a lot of learning and lessons and optimizations and improvements and extensions and refinements that have to be made. After all, nothing is perfect, but things change quickly. Don't believe me? Look at the time period between when the Wright brothers first took to the sky in Carolina to the moon landing. These two events seem so far apart. Black and white pictures of a crudely constructed flying machine by a few hobbyists, to a nation state having mankind stand in a life support suit on a different planetoid, a moon. Amazing accomplishment. Only 66 years. 66 years. For most of human history, seldom would things change in a century. things would maintain relatively the same lifestyle. If you were born in 700 BC and someone was born in 600 BC, there'd be comparability there. You'd have relatively the same lifestyle, relatively the same expectations. Now, every now and then there's exceptions. But here, 66 years from a crude flying machine to standing on the surface of the moon is an amazing thing. And it's speeding up. That means when we launch this, just like all the other great launches that are coming in our space, we're all evolving the social fabric, the choice theory. We're all looking at the future and saying we can do better. And you're all part of that. It's a movement. Millions of people here, billions of people worldwide who need it. We're all one in that respect. So it was a really, really good day.
We're going to leave it on that note, guys. There is a bigger plan at play here. I've tried to emphasize that to you time and time again because I think cryptocurrencies, certainly blockchain technology and the cryptos that come out of it, are going to change the world. And I'm glad to be here on that journey with you. I'm going to love and leave you to your Saturday evenings, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content. If you have a like, it's always appreciated. So is a comment. Watch out for scammers, and I will see you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.